That is where some of the great fights, even world title fights, took place. And it is instructive that we are coming to the institute which was built and designed to engineer the best of sports in Nigeria, and you can't get it wrong. This is perhaps the intellectual oil you need to really run the league, and I want to sincerely thank you for this initiative. I also want to thank our very good chairman, the man who is said is inspired by Muhammad Ali. That's when you talk about the greatest in boxing. There are many leaders who have been inspired by boxing. Of course, you know our own first president, Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Sikh Boxing Athletic Club. You also know about Nelson Mandela. He was an amateur boxer, and he was totally inspired in his days in prison by Muhammad Ali. Today I'm coming here to witness a landmark endeavor, which means starting and getting into the thick of it. They say 2 is the number of weakness. And so season 2 of the Yucateco Boxing League, for me, is something to cherish, because all of us will be a witness, and when we witness, we can take it to another direction. Of course, you know what they say in Africa. If you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Just a second. There is something I want to stimulate the come. Sorry for that. I just wanted to stimulate the house a bit so that you can get to understand the dynamics of what it means. Boxing has been defined by two different schools. There is a school that sees boxing as an art of self-defense. There is another school that sees boxing as a sweet science. What does that tell us? It tells us that when you are involved in the boxing milieu, you have the capability of switching from the art to the science and finding the right mix that can get you far. As I said, if you want to go far, you go together. And that means that together cannot be built if you have a league. That is the strength of the league. You harness your resources. You create a program that is defined. The remote benefits first is even at the individual level. As a boxer, you find the ability to develop your skills, to develop social skills when you come together, either through your club or through the league when it starts. You can always find the kind of backup that the league development program can provide to get you going. And so there is always a fall back position and there is always a rise up position. And as they say in boxing, it's not so much how many times not how many times you are being knocked down, it's how you can rise and fight and win. And we have seen boxers who have gone down coming back to win. Of course, some of you may have watched some of the world title fights. I don't want to get into foreign fights. This is for you. So the strength of being in a league, apart from harnessing all the elements that will give the league visibility, that will create a thorough spectacle, it also it helps to improve facilities. So the clubs now can start thinking of a program every year where what to do, how to get the right kind of fighters, how to get them prepared, how to sign the right kind of coaches. All of these are the elements that make you a genuine participant or stakeholder in developing boxing. And I must tell you that when you have a league, it is easier for those who enjoy boxing to now put their money on it, either being part of the broadcast sponsorship or being part of direct sponsorship, like some people who want to do here, brands that want to bring their products, of course, in what we call the kind of partnership. Had to do with Azuma Nelson. One of African will say is the best fighter that came out of the continent since Dick Tiger or since Hogambasi. And do you know that Hogambasi is just close with us here, not far from the National Stadium? That's where his body remains. That tells us that even before Nigeria's independence, the glory hunters were in boxing, and they all had their clubs where they were prepared, where they were arranged for the big one outside. And you can't take it away from the fact that when it comes to having the kind of arrangement of a league, that helps competition. Now you know for each category, each weight category, you know exactly what you want to do. You know the top fighter in that category. You know how you want to challenge him. You also know what you have to do. And more than anything else, because of the visibility of the league, you can go back home to watch some of the fights and correct all the things you need to do and improve yourself as a better fighter. Not only improving yourself as a better fighter, improving yourself to get to the pinnacle of your endeavor. The MC was talking about football being the big pay day for the athletes. That's not correct. A boxing night alone for one boxer, where you talk about $100 million like we have in the Saudis big league now coming up, $100 million you will never get in a Nigerian football league. It is not possible. But on a night, it's a boxer of your kind, a boxer who gives everything to it, can make one night and go home, and you know that your life on this earth is made. And that's the strength of boxing. It is an individual sport, but the collective composure of where you operate as a league can help you hit the top. And as they say in boxing, when you are there, you feel no pain because the fight is inside of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost there. You guys have been absolutely amazing. We are almost there. But you know, I said something when I was introducing some of this, not even some, everybody here, that they've done so well for Nigeria. Did you hear the part when Dr. Michel Obi said that it was part of the people? Boxers, please, let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, please. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Thank you. Please, let's bring it down. Thank you very much. Let's bring it down. Thank you. Dr. Michel Obi said now that it was part of the Nigerians that created the decree for the formulation of the league that we are enjoying now, the MPFL. That right there is absolutely historic. And that's the reason I keep saying that you guys that are fighting in the boxing league, managers, coaches, please, let's just bring it down. Hey, Joe, let's bring it down, please. Thank you very much. Let's try to maintain the level of decorum. We have been good so far. That's why I said earlier that everyone fighting in this boxing league is making history. Dr. Michel Obi in 1990, sir, was part of the Nigerians that formulated the MPFL that we are enjoying today. You guys, maybe 20, 25 years from now, will be telling your kids that I was part of the people that boxed in the very first Nigerian boxing league by Yucateco. That right there is special and absolutely filled with so much pride. And speaking of pride, it is with every yard of pride, it is with every sense of worth and occasion, it is with every ounce of respect and class and privilege that I stand before you to host this Season 2 seminar of our dearly beloved Yucateco Boxing Promotions for the Yucateco Boxing League Season 2. Standing before you with so much honor to bring forward our keynote speaker, a man that we have already used so many words to flower his personality, but they are not just words, because this man was at the forefront of the fight of Nigeria's democracy back in 1999 up until now. It's not just another politician that will talk and you will not hear anything from them anymore. As the senator is one of the best in the history of this country. I tell you people, leave TikTok and go to Twitter. When you follow men like him, like I've followed over the past couple of years, and you read his submissions every time, he's a very, very, very intellectual person, somebody that you all can benefit from. And just like Mr. Adit Thompson John said, there are some people that you can't just meet on the street. And ladies and gentlemen, this man here is a man that is worth his weight in absolute raw gold. Ladies and gentlemen,
At this time, bringing forward a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, poet, leader, activist, author, publisher, one of the sterling lights of Nigeria, a proud Nigerian that is detribalized, one of the proud sons of the African continent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you may please, to speak on the making champions of Nigerian youth, the leader of men, the totem, father, philanthropist, humanitarian. The words are more than enough as we bring forward the absolutely special gentleman, His Excellency Sir Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Senator, let's just be sure, Senator Shehu. Everybody say it. Senator Shehu Sani. Good afternoon, sir. Your Excellency, thank you very much for coming out today. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The CEO of Yucateco, my brother, invited dignitaries like my brother, Mr. Ricardo Agbo, Michelle Obi, Thompson, Dr. Buki, my sister, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. First off, the MC has said so many things about me, but I was looking at his face. To me, partially you look like, please, look at his face very well. If you know 50 cents, there is some resemblance, no matter how small it is. Having said that, first of all, it is a honor and a privilege to be invited here to Lagos in a historic venue that has been part of our history as a nation and part of the history of sports in Nigeria. When I got the phone call from my brother, I said, what am I expected to do? He said, I will be here to speak to an audience of boxers and prospective boxers. And he gave me the theme of this seminar. And the moment he mentioned boxing, one thing that came to my mind was Muhammad Ali. Coincidentally, 2 days ago, I was at the Nnamdi Azikiwe airport to see someone off traveling abroad. When someone walked up to me and greeted me, a lady, and I responded and I asked, who is she? She said she was the wife of Muhammad Ali. And she is here in Nigeria in preparation to mark the 50th anniversary of the Rumble in the Jungle fight that happened in Zaire. And I told her that this must be a divine coincidence. Muhammad Ali was in Nigeria thrice, 3 times. If you Google, you can see it. He was in Lagos, he was in Ibadan, and he was in Kaduna. These were the 3 cities he visited when he came to Nigeria. He was here in the 60s, and he was also back in the 70s. He was not just a boxer, but he was a renowned activist who became an unofficial ambassador of Nigeria. Wherever he goes, all over the world, he speaks well of us. He spoke well of us as a people. For those of you who were not there in the 60s and 70s, we started well. Nigeria was a nation, a new nation that the world looked up to. If you use your handset and Google Nigeria of the 50s and 60s, you will see how Lagosians were well dressed. You will see how traffic order was arranged. And if you go to YouTube and see, you see the way they even speak, the Nigerians of the 50s and 60s. And we were so blessed as a nation. The moment independence was granted to us, oil was discovered. Because if that oil was discovered before the British left, they couldn't have left. So you can see how well we started. Some of you through TikTok or Instagram, some of these old recordings, when you see the University of Lagos, when you see nightclubs, and see how those Nigerians who have died, how they were well dressed, how they speak. There was nothing like pidgin English at that time. You see their hair. You see the women, the kind of shoes they wear. When they go to club, there was nothing like violence, there was nothing like killings, no banditry, no cult, no nothing. That was the country Muhammad Ali visited. Back to boxing. Mr. Obi there had made reference to Nelson Mandela. But apart from that, I think Fidel Castro was also someone who has so much passion in boxing. And Cuba became one of the best boxing countries of the world. For those of you who were too young to know, when I stepped into this stadium, the last time I was in this stadium was sometimes in 1983, which is about 41 years ago. Just to come and see where we had the historic match between the Super Eagles and Algeria, the AFCON Cup of 1980, where Segun Odegbami was leading the Green Eagles at that time. And I was mentioning the names of all the players. And our CEO here was shocked. That was how we started. Nigeria started well. There was a Time magazine in the 60s that carried the portrait of Nigeria's Prime Minister, Tafawa Balewa, and said this is a country to watch in the next 4 to 5 decades. Many things happened in the course of our country, but I will limit myself to sports. In our days as young people, we pay money to watch football matches and boxing matches and wrestling and so many things. The stadiums were full of people. We were such a great nation at that time because you can spend naira in the UK. And as members of Commonwealth, we don't need visa to go to Britain. It was later visa was introduced. Those who are all above 50 here knew that time. You only need your passport and go to Murtala Mohammed Airport and just fly. There is no need for visa at that time. So I'm sure if it has happened during your generation, you will never see anybody in Nigeria. And at that time, we were not interested. Nobody is interested in going anywhere. Britain has it has an embassy in Lagos and a consulate in Kaduna for people from the north. Nobody goes there looking for nothing, nobody. No, even up to today, out of every 10 Nigerians that are in Europe or United States, 8 of them are from the southern part of Nigeria. I'm sure if the US and UK has a visa office in Kaduna, they will have no job to do, up to today. Grandmothers or mothers at that time. Sports in Nigeria has been systematically destroyed by politicians who don't see the value of it. They only want you to win, but you don't invest. You have to, when you plant a crop, you have to put fertilizer, you have to water it, you have to nurture it before it grows. We are in the Olympics with 1 bronze and 1 silver.